this week. What's been the message from the coaching staff coming off that last game?
Yeah, the message was that we need to be better than we were, because conceding 4 goals against a team in a division below is probably not good enough. Luckily we got 5, because it would have been a really disappointing loss if we didn't win that game, and it would have put us out of the cup as well. So it was a bit of a humbling, it was a bit of a wake-up call that we can't just turn up on any given day and expect to win the game without putting in the work.
You think the reaction from the boys has been good on the training ground?
Yeah, definitely. We cleaned a few things up. Standards have been set again, so we know where we stand and we know what we need to do going forward.
When you look at where you are, you say that kept you in the cup, in the tables. You still have work to do in the Jägermeister Cup after that. So as you look at those next couple of games, where do you see the path forward for Phoenix Rising?
Yeah, in the cup or in the league?
Just in general, overall, as a team.
It's winners every game, really. That's the attitude we have. The talent we have in the locker room is some of the best I've been around. We have great coaching staff, so there's really no reason if we don't put in the work to finish the season pretty well.
You never want to make excuses, and Rising's used to it, but you guys obviously during the summer are on the road pretty much the entire time. Does that maybe make it a little more difficult to get into a rhythm?
Yeah, I think everyone knows the USL travel is pretty tough. We went to Charleston, we flew on a Friday and played on a Saturday. So yeah, you can look at those things, but at the end of the day, you got to turn up and get the job done.
Kyle was just talking about you. He announced you as a midfielder, but this year we've seen you play much further up the pitch as a winger, especially in the last couple of games. How similar is the role that you're playing now to what you played in Oakland in some ways?
Yeah, I've played on the wing in Oakland. I've moved back there this season, and it seems to be paying off, so I'm enjoying it. The weekend made me hungry for more, so I'm just going to try and keep doing the same thing, really.
What about that role suits your skill set as a player?
Yeah, it gives me more looks at goal, and I can create more opportunities for my teammates, get more shots off, so hopefully have more goal contributions, put my energy there instead of being more of a box-to-box midfielder and having to sort of clean up and play make from a deeper role.
When you step up to take a second penalty in a game, does anything change about the way that you approach it at that point, the thought process going into it?
Yeah, it definitely has an effect, but I think you saw the goalkeeper got changed, so there was 2 different goalkeepers for each penalty, so you can go one of 3 ways, left, right or down the middle, so it's up to you to decide. There's different penalty techniques that people do, like you look at other pros, they like to stop and start. I don't normally do that, I just rely on my technique and try and find the corners.
How often are you guys, whether it be on your own time or after training or before training, working on penalties and that skill?
Yeah, we do when we can. That's a good question, because honestly I'd love to stay out longer, but in this heat you're kind of limited to the amount of time on the pitch you can have, which is a little bit unfortunate, because you can't work on some of the technical stuff like free kicks and stuff like that, because we won't recover in time for the weekend. Whereas if you play in Europe, in more mild weather, you can stay out for a couple hours after training or 30 minutes and just kick balls. But here in the heat, you'll end up getting injured, or you sort of got to time it right.
What is it like practicing in this heat for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've lived in America quite a long time now, so I'm used to it. I went to college in Florida, where it's humid over there. I'd probably say that's a little bit more difficult. But it's an advantage when teams come here, they really struggle. So you have to look at it like that. Everyone's playing in the same conditions. I think it definitely affects the game and the speed of play, and sometimes the quality, because the more tired you are, the harder it is to play. But yeah, like I said, we can try and use it to our advantage as well.
Are you looking forward to being back home for a game? I mean, even if it's just kind of a one-off and then you're back on the road.
Yeah, definitely. It sort of cuts the travel in half. Having a home game, being in front of the fans. Yeah, the boys are flying at the minute, so we're really looking forward to the weekend.
How different is the week when you have a game on a Friday night versus a Saturday night? Does it speed up the process at all?
Yeah, definitely. We didn't get a day off this week, so we sort of came in Monday and had to brush ourselves off and prepare for Friday's game. If we were playing on Saturday, we probably would have got a little bit of a midweek rest, but yeah, there's not much you can do. This is the schedule. So.
What's the communication been like between you and
What was the first bit? Sorry.
About your leadership and
Yes.
how crucial that's been and how you've grown in that space for the team.
Yeah, definitely. Being an older player, I sort of have to set an example for the younger boys and how to be a pro. I've been in the game a while, so I can definitely give them a lot of advice, tips, stuff like that. Obviously, when I was injured, it was a little bit tougher because I'm more of a player that likes to lead with my performances. There's always a time and place to talk and stuff like that, but talk is cheap. Anyone can talk. If you can get it done on the field and lead by example, then that's probably the best way you can lead, to be honest.
Have you ever been on a team this young?
No, when I was at Tampa last year, there's a lot of older guys, more experienced. So yeah, I think the start of the season we showed some inexperience, making mistakes in games that cost us, and we started to put those right, and we've really learned from those mistakes. A few slip-ups at the weekend, but we learned from them as well. So as long as you're learning and you're not repeating the same mistakes, then the team should continue to grow.
Obviously, you're more of an attacking threat, but you guys have scored the most goals in the Western Conference, but also given up the most goals in the Western Conference.
Yeah.
What have been some of the main struggles that have led to other teams getting on the scoreboard so much?
Yeah, I mean, that speaks volumes for the attacking players, and we'd like to clean up some of that stuff defensively. I know we've had a few injuries as well. Pape's been injured for a while. Other players have been out, but we've also had players step in and do excellent work. So I think once we get everyone back fit, I don't think that'll be as much as an issue. Hopefully we can just continue to form going forward.
What are you expecting to see from Lexington then this weekend?
Yeah, I think they're a team that's come into form a little bit. I think they struggled at the start of the year. I think they had a pretty fresh turnover because they changed the transition between leagues. But yeah, any team that comes to Phoenix, they know they're in for a game, and yeah, we don't focus too much on the opponent. Obviously, we'll respect them and understand what they do, their set pieces. We'll study them, but it's more about what we do with the ball.
Any other questions in the room?
When's the last time you scored a hat trick in your life?
Yeah, I've scored one when I was playing for Tucson, so it's kind of cool. When I was playing in Arizona as well, just up the road. That was when I was a little bit younger and fighting my way in USL League One. Yeah, I scored a hat trick there, which was pretty cool. So yeah, it was nice.